And our timing was
Hey, we did
so
start.
there you go.
All right, friends. Thanks for tuning in to Perry Live with Ron Drake. Super excited about this week's show. This is going to be a fun one. I mean, they're all fun, but this one I think could potentially be extra fun. We're a little bit nervous about it being too fun. So the idea behind Perry Live is to explain to you, the viewers, what's going on in downtown Perry. And really, we're going to talk about what's going on in Perry in general. But, my job as a downtown consultant is to talk primarily about downtown. And so, excited about this show because I've got my good friend, Phil Salvati, here on the show. Phil, thanks for joining us today.
Yeah, my pleasure, my pleasure.
You and I met like really early on. Like, the first time I was here, first day.
Second, my wife was the
Was it
first day.
second?
I was
Oh,
the
okay.
second. Yeah, I couldn't leave the shop. So
Only one of you can
Right,
go at a
right,
time,
right.
kind of a deal.
busy.
Right. I think we became friends
Yeah.
pretty quick.
Yeah. I wasn't totally signed on yet, but you made a believer out of me out of the second, the third day.
Really?
And I was, yeah.
Wow.
I was
I
skeptical.
didn't know I made a believer out of you. I
Right,
thought
yeah,
you're still
absolutely,
no, I know. Well, I can remember because you can tell you become friends with somebody because that second night we had dinner, I think, at La Macarena,
Mm-hmm.
and long day, great day, and I'm on my phone. Of course, I'm doing social media. I'm like
Right.
doing a post about whatever, great day in Perry, and you're like sitting next to me going, we're all trying to have dinner and you're on your phone.
That's pet peeve. Pet peeve.
Right, we all have our phones away, and here's this new guy's got his phone out. So I had to say, hey, man, I'm trying to promote Perry. So anyway, it was kind of fun. So I got to bring something up. So I've said this before, and I'm going to say it again. One of the things I love about small town America, and Perry in particular, number one, we are super thankful for this table that we have that Sue made for us at Yankee Dime. And in fact, let me give a plug. Tomorrow at 10 a.m. is
That's right. The
what
Perry
is it?
Main Street Business of the Quarter.
Yeah.
So-
Business of the Quarter at Yankee Dime. Yep. And so anyway, Sue made this. Her and her husband made this for me, so I appreciate that. But also, Phil and Red Earth Designs have made these mugs. And did it really quick, really, on kind of a last minute thing. But this is what happens when you have Phil on the show, because this was the old mug. when you get the boss man, let's see, we get it here on the show, you would get
The big mugs.
the big mugs.
For the big
so
mugs.
yeah, not for these sissy mugs. We're going with the big mugs. So appreciate that.
Not a problem.
That's a lot of
Not a
fun.
problem.
All right, how did you, a Yankee, end up in Perry, Oklahoma?
Oh.
Tell me about that.
Long story, but we'll try and make it short.
Okay.
My wife and I, for years, argued about who's got the better dogs on the internet.
Okay.
And she ended up with the better dogs because I switched over to her breed. But I needed a place to come out. Our nationals for the breed that I trained at the time was in Kansas, and I needed a place to come out and acclimate my dogs to the area. And she invited me to her farm, and literally I got stuck in her front yard.
You got stuck, like
I
your
did.
truck got
Yeah,
stuck?
It did. Her brother had to pull me out. Here
I can
am.
only imagine like a little bit of the harassment. Like, here's this city
Yeah.
slicker from New York,
Yep.
comes to Oklahoma, and he gets stuck in my front
People
yard.
called her mother to see who I was. Yeah, it's a small town. You gotta love it, man. I really do love it, actually.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
it's a
And
lot of
that's
fun.
been like, was that like 15 years or something?
13.
13 years.
Yeah, I got stuck.
Yeah, you literally. Have you got the truck out yet? Is it
Yeah,
still
it's
stuck
out.
in the
Yep,
front
yeah, it's out. Yeah, it's still ruts there, but
Yeah, right.
Yeah, but here I am. And Perry's just a great small town.
Yeah.
Man, you know everybody, or at least you know the face.
Right.
Gosh, I mean, my mother-in-law even said, I got to stop exercising. Everybody stops and sees if you're okay when you're walking the mile, And so they bought a treadmill.
Yeah.
So, but that's just small town living. You can't beat that.
It's fun for me even too. I'll maybe have a lunch meeting or something, or coffee at 6-Eleven, or the other day actually I had coffee at 6-Eleven. And it took me to walk from Main Street to there 35 minutes.
Yep.
'Cause,
That's the way it
you
is.
get stopped,
Yeah.
right? And people, what's going on? What's happening? Or whatever. Even when I got in 6-Eleven, a couple of guys stopped me and asking me what's happening. Yeah, that's
Great town.
part
Great.
of the fun.
Yeah, I can't tell you how many people come in the shop and just watch a new machine run, or hey,
Yeah.
just see my wife being a large animal vet, asking about cattle prices, or just a quick question about cows, or whatever. How much rain did you get last night?
Yeah.
Gosh, it's great small town living.
I think I like to stop into Red Earth, as you know, and just to pop in and say hi. And Kayla's oftentimes with me, and we're just, if we're walking through the downtown, just pop in.
I look forward to it.
and-
People say, I hope I'm not bothering you. Are you kidding?
Yeah.
Come on in.
Yeah.
We have a great time. Especially if you want to try something new, and as long as it doesn't explode or smoke or blow up, I'll try it. So, and if it does blow up, we'll just go out back. So,
So another thing I thought was really interesting about you, and especially if anybody follows Phil on Facebook, and Phil and Gayla both, and see you have a really unique hobby. It's unique to me. Mm-hmm. Tell me a little bit about that. And
Which one?
Well, okay, with your hawks.
I'm sure
With the
I thought you were
that's where I'm going with. Yeah.
it's not a hobby. It's a
Okay.
lifestyle, basically, we
Right.
call it. It is something that you just can't easily get into. It actually took me 4 years
Okay.
to find a sponsor, but I did find a great one, and he taught me a lot. But it is something that it takes a lot of time of your life, and you got to spend time, at least minimum an hour a day if we're not flying or training with our birds. But they come to work with me when we're training. I try and hunt my way to work, and I hunt my way home when it's nice out. So it's a great way to, it's the next step in life, so to speak, is what I call it.
Right.
I'm not interested in, I'm a hunter my whole life. Young hunters want to get out and shoot stuff, and then seasoned hunters want to get out and hunt trophies.
Right.
And then I'm more interested in taking young folks out and teaching them something about hunting, or taking them out with my birds and teaching them about the wildlife and the food
Yeah.
chain. So
I thought it was kind of cool. We were even talking just briefly today. So your relationship with your birds are probably really similar to a lot of guys that have a relationship with their hunting dogs or something.
yeah, and then some, because you can put a dog up in the kennel and go away. Basically have somebody feed him. I can't have somebody just feed my birds.
You've got to be that one.
Well, no, but I can have another falconer that knows
Okay.
about the life of a bird. If you just walk into into my mew or my chamber for my birds, you're going to be scared.
Yeah, yeah.
So
yeah.
it's a different way of life, and it's a lot of work. It's a lot of feeling of accomplishment.
Yeah.
Taking a bird out of the wild, training it to hunt with you.
Yeah. I can't even imagine. I don't even know.
It's crazy.
It's hard to even fathom how you do it.
The first time my wife and I did it, it was scary.
Yeah.
Because of the unknown.
Yeah.
But once you got that and you released your bird for the first time, I get chills. Have that bird come back to you, a wild raptor come back to you. It's the coolest feeling.
That's
in
the
the
part that I can't even imagine. Like just watching it.
Yeah.
And I'm sure you lose.
Hopefully it makes that U-turn. It comes right back.
Because surely you lose sight of it, or do you not lose sight of it?
Oh,
or-
yeah. Well, we lost my wife's bird for 9 days.
Oh.
So,
But
yeah.
but you got it back.
We went and got it back. Somebody reported it.
Oh, okay.
And we went and called it, got it back. I actually
Yeah.
had to cut her out of a tree. So. But
Oh, really?
Long story. But
Okay. Well, I got the opportunity to hold one time, and it's amazing. I mean,
And you really need to come out and hunt with us.
I know. I
That's
really
amazing.
do.
So,
I really do.
Yeah.
Well, that's going to happen
Anytime.
when it cools down or
yeah,
warms up
when it warms up a
bit,
little.
When it warms
yeah.
up.
They're actually in the shop right now because it's
Yeah.
the particular birds that we own are not from Oklahoma and they can't handle our winters.
Okay.
So they come in the house in the wintertime when it's too cold, below 30 degrees, and they're in the shop right now. So.
Yeah. Sleep at the edge of your bed.
Not that cozy, but yeah. So,
All right. So another thing. So I talked. We met early on and stuff, and I just want to kind of throw out. I think this is accurate, and maybe our producer can help from behind the scenes. I think it was a 16th celebration that we had. The food trucks were kind of right in front of the Red Earth.
Yeah,
on that part of the square.
concessions, yeah.
The concessions, and the parade went by and all that. And my wife and I came for the day, and I wasn't even working here yet. I mean, I was kind of thinking that maybe I was gonna work here, and maybe hoping. Be quite honestly, I felt like there's that you guys were just primed. So we came into Red Earth, barely knew you, just knew you for a couple of days. It was good to see you and all that. And then Tyson came in that day.
Yeah.
And met Tyson. He was telling me about this, the PIN, and that I think that this idea for this show was fostered before I even started working
yeah, I
here.
wouldn't doubt it.
Right? And I think we just kind of,
Here we are.
I said, what would be fun? Kind of maybe just half brainstorming, and
Yeah.
it'd be fun if we did this show. So here we go. So guys, ideas. You never know where an idea is going to come from.
Here we go.
Yeah,
Steamrolling, I hope.
it's steamrolling.
Yeah.
Okay, so my last kind of question before we're going to get to the you've got a Perry fun fact for me.
I do.
So can you at Red Earth Design? Can you give me a career highlight from Red Earth Design?
For myself?
Yeah, from what you've done there at Red Earth Design?
Oh, gosh, now you caught me. Like a career highlight.
I mean, because I think I know what it is.
There's several. I mean, oopses, you mean? We've had
whatever.
Several. Gosh, I mean, from cutting my finger halfway off and running up the street, leaving a blood trail over at Dollar General.
Okay. Dollar General to buy Band-Aid?
Yeah. There's so many. We have literally a good time. We didn't start this business like normal people and go and work for somebody and find out what you
Yeah.
can teach me.
Right.
We bought a machine and got on YouTube.
Oh,
so
right.
that whole deal for me
Is the experience,
yeah, it's been great. So
Well, I was told that your career highlight was when you made something there, and it was this. I've got it. I actually have it. It's Perry Main Street
yeah.
welcomes, a life-size.
that was one of the highlights. That was, yeah.
a life-size picture of Ron Drake.
So I did steal your logo, by the way, off the internet.
I know, and I'm
redraw
still
it.
waiting to be
Yeah,
compensated from, my attorneys haven't gotten a hold of you yet
No,
about
no,
that?
no,
Oh,
but
okay,
see,
maybe
usually-
they'll watch this episode.
You get a cease and desist first, and then,
Okay.
that's how that
well,
works. So.
Phil's career highlight right there. I had to mess with you just a little bit. So that was actually pretty funny when I show up in town and I'm like, oh my gosh,
Got
I'm
your
in the
name
window.
everywhere, pictures
Yeah,
everywhere.
You made signs of
Yeah, it was
about
all
Ron
over
Drake is
town.
coming,
Yeah.
whatever. That was
And that worked. That was a great.
it really did.
That was a great advertisement thing because everybody wanted to know who Ron Drake was. So, and who is Ron Drake?
Oh, you got to tell me the Perry Punt.
Oh, okay.
We got a schedule we got to go
Okay.
through, man.
Well, okay. So the Perry fun fact is, did you know that our actual 101-year-old now courthouse is haunted?
I've heard things, and I've been in it a couple of times.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't heard anything.
Well, if you talk to some of the people there on the second floor, I think is some of the ladies that have seen and heard this ghost in the evening. And they actually did hire some ghostologists.
Okay.
So to
was
come
there
in.
any result from that?
Yeah, I don't know exactly they did what their findings were, but the ghost's name is Mr. Armstrong
And was he like the only person ever hung
in Town Square.
on Town Square?
Yeah. So
What'd he do?
The rumor,
know?
the
even know what he did?
folklore is the kids at one time years ago were to go around and knock on all the pecan trees. I almost said walnuts. Damn it. So the pecan or pecan.
Yeah. Depends
they're-
on if you're a Yankee or a,
Exactly. They were to knock on the trunks and say, knock 3 times, I think it was, and then say, Mr. Armstrong, Mr. Armstrong, what did you do to make them kill you?
Oh yeah.
So,
Wow.
Yeah, it's pretty, and it's actually several people, like I said, if you go over in the courthouse, they've heard and seen anomalies in the courthouse.
I've heard that. I think maybe every time I've gone into the courthouse, I've kind of heard
Yeah.
somebody tell me something about that. But so maybe what we should do sometime, let's get a group of people. Let's just stay the night.
We can stay upstairs in the
Yeah.
old jail. So
Oh, in the jail.
yeah, that'd
Which
be
is kind
pretty
of
well.
in itself, because of history, is creepy enough just because Timothy McVeigh
Yeah.
stayed there. Just thinking about what kind of evil that was in his head.
Oh, yeah.
What kind of residue is left over from that. So if you know anybody that's a certified ghost hunter, let's get them.
Yeah.
Let's get them here.
Yeah.
So you had maybe a question or two for me.
I know you have consulted in many larger cities or close to equal in size.
Yeah.
Where does Perry fall in our progression or lack thereof, or however you say that, to your other cities? Do you see us getting there, or do you see we're going to be successful?
Yeah, it's not going to work. We might as well just quit now. Yeah. Okay.
cut.
Show's over, guys. No, obviously that's not the truth. I shouldn't even joke that way. I've actually, so people think that I work in a lot of bigger towns. I've worked in Stroud, Oklahoma with, I think, 1,500 people.
Mm-hmm.
I was just over in Kettle Falls, Washington, which is 1,640
Wow.
people.
So
Which is
considerably smaller than
Considerably smaller. Grove, Oklahoma, around 3,000 people. Grove, there's a good success story that's come out of Grove and downtown Grove. Look up 1909 Restaurant, amazing restaurant in downtown Grove. When they're similar to Perry. A lot of people drove through town going to Grove Lake, but everybody thought they wouldn't come downtown. I'm like, well, they don't have a reason to. Let's give them a reason. They gave them a reason. There's a great restaurant down there now, and it's successful and it's doing well. So it's not just smaller towns. I do talk a lot about Okmulgee, Oklahoma, which is 12,000 people.
Yep.
Albeit they were probably a little more blighted of a community. If you Google, Kayla and I were looking at poverty levels from different communities, and people actually have asked the question of, do I work in towns with less poverty than Perry? And actually Perry so far ranks up on the higher, let's see, I guess it'd be the lower list, a smaller percentage. So I guess a higher success rate, I don't know the word I'm looking for, than some of the other communities. I guess I'm saying I usually work in communities with more poverty than Perry.
Oh, okay.
All right, that's what
Gotcha.
I'm trying to say. I was getting, the percentages. So Perry's not as bad as people maybe seem to think, and it helps to actually compare against other communities, and I get that opportunity to do so. So anyway, to answer your question, I think we're on a great path. I mean, I've only been here working for just over 3 months, and in those 3 months, we have our first project. Actually getting ready to pull a building permit.
Right.
We've applied, so it's it's going to take some time still, and it's a historic rehabilitation tax credit, and we have another 2 and maybe 3 very serious people that are looking at doing things like a wine bar and a tap room and maybe another restaurant and a different type of retail and actually something that's really exciting that I really can't even talk about. This is kind of the awkward phase for me because right now, people can feel it, but they can't really see it. So we got to really keep that feeling going, that feeling of belief that it can happen.
Absolutely.
But, unfortunately, there's a lot of people that will come to me and say, hey, we want to do something, but Ron, we don't really want people to know right now. Because what if we decide not to do it, or what if the bank financing doesn't work, or what if this, and now all of a sudden we're out there looking like fools.
Right.
So you see what I'm saying?
It's better to keep it quiet.
Better to keep it quiet. So
People feel left in the dark, but once the note's signed and the agreement's made,
right, and then we'll really continue to feed off that. Perry has been same population, and downtown has been less than vibrant for many, 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 many years. We can't do this overnight.
Yeah, it's going to take some time, and I know a bunch of your projects have taken time.
Yeah.
Siloam Springs, where you live,
Right.
and all that. But look at it now.
Right.
If people can just have the foresight to say what it could be, and look at that, and we used to have a little logo that they Main Street put in windows that said, "This building's not empty.
Yeah.
It's full of potential."
Yeah.
And that's so true. With somebody, my logo of our business is our limit is your imagination.
Yeah, your imagination, right.
And so come on in, sit down, let's discuss this, and we'll just throw 5 or 6 ideas out against and see what sticks against the wall. So if we can get some entrepreneurial, like-minded people with those ideas in town,
Right.
look out. This
Right.
is one of few towns that actually have a square, an actual square.
know, and
with a
it's
Carnegie
beautiful.
Library and a
Oh
folk
my
art
gosh.
building.
I know.
And gosh, there's so much history here.
There is.
So
Yeah, I've said before, I'll say it again, even my loft being one of the few people that live down here, I mean, I just find myself, I can catch myself, not even realizing it, just staring out the window, looking at the library,
Yeah.
looking at the square,
it's a
just
great
like
sight.
meditating or thinking or whatever, and be like, whoa,
101-year-old courthouse, county courthouse, or
Yeah.
county building, rather. There's just a lot of things that's happened here over the years. It's the center of the last Cherokee Strip land run, or the only Cherokee Strip land run is the last land run that happened in Oklahoma.
Right.
Great stuff happened here.
I know.
So, lots of information, lots of history. Geez, you go in the Comeback Cafe across the road, and you can spend hours looking at what happened
I know.
down at those pictures.
And people in Perry really, more. This is probably honest. This is, I'm gonna say this is a really honest statement, at least in my experience and over communities I've been to, even in Oklahoma. People talk about the Perry history far more than I've in other communities. I mean, really, like even in my town, I know a little bit about our history. We were a tourist community, whatever. Simon Sager founded it, but you guys, I'll talk constantly to people that'll just tell me just what you did, the history and the years and and it's
And I know a lot about
of pride.
It intrigues me, and I'm a come here, not a from here.
Yeah.
So we live on my wife's great grandfather's land that he settled on the land run.
Yeah.
So
I know.
we own
And
the
I hear that a
oldest
lot.
building on the square.
Yeah.
So there's just so many interesting factoids that if you just sit down for 15 minutes and talk to some of these old timers from town, gosh,
Yeah.
that's crazy.
And I've had the opportunity to do so.
Yeah.
All right. So, I meant to ask this question. Are you really a Yankee Doodle dandy?
A Yankee? I don't know about a doodle dandy, but I am what locals call a damn Yankee. So a Yankee is somebody from the north, and the damn Yankee is the one that comes here and never leaves.
Oh,
so
that's really
and
what
that is me. I'm here for good, bud. You're not getting rid of me.
All right.
So
all right. So we're going to be talking more, and we have been talking lately, and you'll be looking in the newspaper for some stories and updates about Main Street.
Yep.
And I'm going to shift it over to Main Street now. We've got a whole new Main Street organization, new Main Street board.
Yeah.
We're changing the approach to Main Street, and just recently, the executive committee was voted in, and you were elected the Main Street president.
yeah, I was again.
Again, so you took a little hiatus.
I did.
Let's talk just a little bit briefly. You took a little hiatus from Main Street. You were Main Street president years ago.
Twice.
Okay, twice. Okay. Took a little break. Now you're back. And you're voted Main Street again, or president again. I think part of that is because some of the board, I'm not trying to take this away, but I think this was wisdom on the board. Now, there's a lot of new board members, and you have experience.
Exactly.
And it makes, perfect sense and you're downtown and whatever to get involved. So, I don't know, tell me a little about that. Like, why now? Why'd you get back involved in Main Street, and here you are finding yourself president again?
I got to blame you.
Okay, great.
New fire.
Yeah.
Getting going again, getting that spark going again. It's happened over the years prior to me. But I think we have a momentum that we can't stop.
Yeah.
Hence the new Perry Main Street and Perry Project,
Right.
Which are both steamrolling and going great. Both of which I'm a part of too, as well my wife. I just think that we've got this going and we can't stop it.
Right.
So if we have some new people on the board that are interested again in the same end result. So grab on the reins and hold on for the ride.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be a good one. I really do. I have faith in it this go around. I really do.
I'm with you. And again, I think it's great that we have a lot of new people on the board, and there's some that are like, I don't even really fully understand what Main Street does, and we're like, that's great. That's great because we want to reinvent Main Street and Perry.
I think if we can get some people involved and sit down and listen to us and what our project or our ideas are going to be, we have some good things on the horizon.
So segue into that, can you kind of give me some ideas on some of do you have some goals or objectives or something? I know you just last week were voted on, but I know you've got some few things in your head.
I mean, I want to see a couple of old things come back, but I want to see some new ideas get out there and try and snowball or work on what we've started that's kind of gone by the wayside. People get complacent, and I think we need to light that fire again, get the ball rolling again. Our Mingala Main thing, I think we could make that bigger, better.
Ramp it up, yeah.
Last year, you guys came up with an idea, the art walk or
the Alley of the Arts.
Alley of the Arts,
24-hour
flip.
Yeah.
Gosh, that was fun. We had a ball. I think townspeople enjoyed that.
Yeah.
So I think we need to embellish and parlay on that and make that something maybe 2 days long, 3 days long. So it's worth all that hard work that people came that had nothing to do with Main Street.
That's right.
And helped build that. Ditch Witch and smaller companies and people that just wanted to see it work.
And kids.
Kids, yeah.
How many kids were down there
artwork
writing
and-
on doing the artwork?
It was good to stand back and just look and witness what, would you say 50, 75 people showed up to help build that?
To help build it, and I would say at least 200 came.
Yeah. But I mean, just the people.
Yeah, just to help build it, right.
Because Kayla came up with this or heard a crazy idea and said, I want to do this.
Yeah.
So hats off to our Main Street director. Volunteerism has gone way down, not for Main Street, just per se. And to get that many people together and hang lights and build tents and gosh, whatever. You saw what happened.
Right.
I mean, it was
special.
cool. It was great. I had a great time.
It was special.
It was a lot of work, and I think people enjoyed it. So
yeah. So I just want to do a little plug for Main Street. I'm asking you to honestly, we need to be a little patient as we are going through this rebuilding process.
Absolutely.
We did talk a little bit about the last board meeting, maybe doing fewer projects, but we're going to try to make them excellent.
And instead of having separate committees, have everybody gang up on one job and get it done better, bigger, better, and faster.
But I would encourage you to get involved in Main Street. Just
Absolutely.
Go by the Main Street office or give them a call. Check them out on Facebook, message, whatever, and inquire what's going on. because some good stuff.
Absolutely.
This is going good. We got a few things to do, and it's a short amount of time. So I know it's still a little bit early on, or still things to figure out. But one of the things I appreciate about you being president is you also have a project of your own that you're looking at doing right here downtown. Can you give us a little bit of a snapshot what that hopefully is going to look like?
Hopefully we can get my wife here to talk about that.
Yeah.
Because that's her passion. She is head over heels involved with this. But we have the oldest building on the square, and upstairs there are 5 very antiquated apartments.
Right.
Which right now we're talking about a boutique hotel / apartment maybe upstairs, just to get people on the square. You know, your theory is you got to have people before business.
Right.
So that's our hope is to get people on the square.
Yeah.
And then prospective business owners will come say, well, there is a chance of life here.
The best way to bring life downtown is to bring lives downtown.
That's right.
And residential is the key. And
Yep.
you know, you drive around after 5 and you see lights turned on and people walking their dogs or their children or whatever. We don't ever know who's going to be the ones that's going to live in those spaces.
Again, your last talk
Yeah.
that Friday night,
Friday night was
a buddy of
amazing.
mine, Danny, again, we're
Yeah.
sitting out here on the square, and we watched people walk the square. People stop and say hello. We were sitting out on the bench.
Yeah.
People shop buildings.
Yeah.
That fire,
Yeah.
man, it's a good thing.
It is.
So, and I know some buildings have been purchased.
Mm-hmm.
I know a project, a ridiculously large project, has started or getting ready to start.
Mm-hmm.
So I think we're getting on a ride here.
We are.
Yeah.
Get ready, guys. Hang on. Okay. So to wrap up, I got 3. You get a chance to win your very own mug.
Gosh, I'm gonna put my name on one.
You
though.
can, I
I was going to cross out Ron Drake.
I
and
was
put my
actually
name,
expecting
so
that.
I almost did it. I almost did it.
I was actually expecting that. So what's the last thing you watched on TV?
What's the last thing I watched on TV? Wow, what was?
I figured this was an easy one because I thought
I read
thought
a lot
I knew
when the
this one
TV's
too.
on.
Oh.
But gosh, I couldn't tell you.
I figured it'd be the Streetcar Racer
It-
or
it-
whatever that.
It actually,
what's
bingo, it was. It was Outlaw
Outlaw
Street
Racer,
Outlaws.
Street
Yeah,
Outlaw?
that's right.
Yeah, yeah.
Right. That was on last night as I had a book in my hand. So, but yeah,
Okay. I've never watched it, but
Great show.
But you
Great
and
show.
Gayla were telling me all about it and like thinking about
Yeah.
how we could do something like that, some illegal street racing here in downtown Perry would be kind of fun. Okay, serious question.
shoot.
What social stigma does society need to get over?
Oh, I can't honestly answer that.
I knew you couldn't.
Oh, come on now. I have a business in town.
I knew you couldn't answer that question.
So we're going to segue over that one.
I'll hear the answer to that question at his shop later
Yes.
today.
Yes, you will.
And we probably, because he could answer it if Tyson could do the beep.
That's right, yeah. If you can beep, I'll let you know when it's coming.
And my last question is, again, a serious one. What are your viewpoints on spooning?
Oh, well, you know, that was a weird thing. I never knew what spooning was, you know, and I heard somebody talking about that, and I was like, I was a little worried coming out to Oklahoma, what they do with
Yeah.
spoons.
So-
But, yeah, it was worrisome.
I had a few private jokes, a few little inside jokes I had to try to catch Phil off guard with today. I know I'm going to pay for some of this stuff. All right, so guys, Phil, thanks for coming, man.
that was a great time.
This
Great.
is fun. This is fun, and
Thanks for doing what you're doing for our little city. So
well, thank you.
I appreciate it.
I'm the one that's lucky to be here and honored to be here, and that's absolutely the truth. I really feel that way. So if you like what you've seen, guys, hit us up on YouTube. You can. There's a little bell button. You can ding, and you can like and subscribe.
It doesn't
and there's-
actually ding, though.
It doesn't ding?
No.
Well, I do that. When I click, I go ding, ding, because I have a push button on my screen. I go ding. It's my own thing. It's annoying in meetings, but I still do it. And then you can also comment below, and we want to know what you guys think about this. We want to know. We want to get some feedback, or even if you have some questions, you know, that you'd like for any of us, any of my future guests to answer. And then we went live today on Flip This Town, so you can also go to Flip This Town on Facebook and on Main Street of Perry on Facebook. And I tagged Phil, so you can probably go to Phil's Facebook page, and you can watch this again and watch some other behind-the-scenes stuff. So we're trying to have fun with this for you guys, so you can enjoy. So thanks for tuning in to Perry Live with Ron Drake. Thank you, Phil.
Anytime.
And we're signing off.